We should be live, right? We should be live right now, right? Correctly. If everything is all correct, as they will say, we should be right. No, we should be live. Not right. We should be live. Yeah. Wait. I forgot how this start. There it is. Now for real. We're live. Um, I think so. Nice. So, well, what do we have to do today? Okay, I have to set up this. Let me read from here to here. Let's extract this. First and foremost, that is one thing. Let me make an announcement also. Once again, because it is always uh, good, I believe. So, yeah. And, well, we. Here we are, I think. I think so. Right? Uh, why do we have the notifications of stream elements? What's up with that? Are they really two? Or I am seeing it uh, randomly duplicated? What's up with what? Stream elements? Are we not working? Oh, okay. It was the random moment in which it duplicates itself somehow. Also, yeah, I still get nervous because of this song. Fuck. I like the amount of energy that it has, but at the same time I don't enjoy how much of a nerve wracking it ends up becoming. Like at the end of it, like yeah, quite at the end, it ends up being wracking a little bit. So that's certainly something. Uh, well, not at the end. In reality, it is like at the middle of it. After all, it is very short piece, which I misremembered as incredibly longer. So I don't know. I don't get to say uh, exactly why. But well, I mean, I guess it is because of the high energy. I guess, but yeah, still, I can at the very least do other things. Maybe not like that much until it finishes, like now. But until that happens, um, I can keep doing other stuff in the meanwhile. So I need to say this goes over here. Let me close this. Like suppose this. No, I have to link it something like this one. Okay. I should. I am. I am this community. Yeah, I knew it. There was going to be a problem. No, this is so bad. Yeah, but anyways, yeah. Besides that, what else I am forgetting to do? I think not that much, right? Okay. We should still have some time. Yeah, we have like 6 minutes. After all, I really didn't do that much. Besides that, so let me take it from a different perspective. Like doing it here. Let's see. There are like too many things to do, but that is not really my problem, I believe. Why is what? Uh, so handling. What? I didn't expect that. Out of nowhere. But well, it can happen, I guess. We can I can say this and also what else here? Mhm. Nice. What else? What else? What else? I shouldn't be forgetting. I did it too. I know one else that I could do. Maybe not. I don't think so. Anyways, besides that, then what? Promo? What is promo? Anyways, okay, I can close this, I guess. Wait, did did no notification sent to my Discord, to my own fucking Discord? What's up with that, man? No, it has once again failed me to do its one single fucking function. Uh, I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't think it is that bad in reality. It is just a little bit annoying. After all, you wouldn't expect the watch. Well, it didn't die completely. It just malfunctioned a little bit on one end. That is to work on my Discord. But well, besides that, everything else is fine. I think so. So I shouldn't be worried about it. Well, we have we have like 2 minutes and a half still remaining. So this is like a whole another loop of this song, supposedly, or maybe yeah. There is also some time in which it is silent, so it is a complete loop of this song. What we have still to go through until we are done with just waiting, I guess. But in the meantime, I have no idea what we are really doing. Um, or not that I don't know. Um, it is more like I certainly don't have a clear vision as to where it might all diverge into. Yeah, I think that might be a problem that I have to deal with quite, quite imminently. No, right? Um, also, why do I have like 70 different scenes all over the place? What the fuck is this? Why do I have a... Gee, what the fuck is this? Let me run that. Also, hello, Jordan. Come. Uh, Let me open Greta. Fresh, fresh paint. What the fuck is fresh paint? What the? What is fresh paint? Why do we have like 20 different window captures all in one single scene that I don't use? What the fuck is this? What is this scene? What what do I have here that I forgot to clear up? Let me start removing stuff. This, let me remove that. There are swords. So the swords also. What the fuck? Anyways, I don't know. I don't know, a very chaotic scene. Yes. So, wait, Chul, what the fuck? Weren't you in a collab? Or weren't you at the very least playing Dominions like just some minutes ago? I'm pretty sure I saw what was happening, man. What? But welcome. Um, I remembered out of nowhere. My memory got activated. But well, um, second because I need to hide this. And yeah, before we keep going overboard, here we are. Hello everybody. It is yet another night, another occasion in which we gather and we find ourselves here in this our beautiful place that is this corner of internet, right? So welcome, welcome. Also wait, because I moved my microphone, I forgot about it. Yeah, it has been quite some time since the last occasion, like I think less than 24 hours, taking into consideration how long it was. So yeah, welcome everybody. As always, hello viewers, lurkers, watchers, uh, everybody. In particular, Joel, who got here first, and well, yeah, um, it is a nice occasion. I think this time around, for some thinking, I had been pretty interested in continuing with such things since I I had been trying to go back into this whole format of just purely talking and such. So it ended up being on the best of my interest, let's say, to try my best. Not just talk, but also introduce some visual clues to unite the different things that I am mentioning. So that is what we are trying to do. Uh, yeah, what we are going to try to do later on, more accurate to say. So yeah, we're going to see so far how it ends up going. I don't really know exactly what will come up out of this one. I might simply decide to do the easiest thing possible, that is to pull up one of the few ideas that I had left ready slash unattended last time. Also, because obviously it ended up being good that I created so many ideas, but it was rather sad that I couldn't go over them as I would have wished to keep doing so in the past. So yeah, we're pro. I don't know if it is an honor or a proper tribute to what I left for myself to keep working on to continue with exactly um, those ideas, or to simply go with something else in the meanwhile. After all, I think pretty much the different concepts that I might be capable of coming up with um, might still have some minimal sides of interest to it. Um, and give me a second. There it is. Let me save this as that, activate this, and there it is. That is the new title of today. That's 60 minutes of talking before thinking itself. Because yeah, I think, as always, at the very least, an introductory time is necessary. I believe so. I don't know. So yeah, yeah. Going back to what I was trying to say. Sorry. I don't know. I feel like after all, even if I have different topics already quite quite prepared to go over, those things will pretty much require their own setup, and they do have their own aura of um, how to say they have a certain ambient and similar things, and what I end up doing in a more unorganized style of explanational thinking, let's say like that, ends up being a lot more freeform than if I go over something that I had already processed and I give that idea in yeah, out to whoever wants to catch what I am mentioning. And there is a big difference between both of those, and there is obviously an incredibly big difference between how one is perceived and how the other one is also um, received. After all, one has a lot more of thought behind it. I mean, after all, maybe it is better to try and go back to those type of explanations, probably because they have a better structure behind them, and I already know where I might try to go with those concepts, even if in some cases, yeah, I have my book with me. Give me a second, because I am pretty sure that if I were to see some of those titles at this point in time, I might not be capable of remembering exactly what I was trying to go with on every single one of them. Not because they are incomprehensible, but rather because they end up being unavoidably complex, even to me myself, to follow. And it is just because of the nature of such things that I find myself dealing with those same problems. I feel like. So let me see. I need to trace this. Some of this. Okay, here it is. Let me see. In the first page, or no, this is the second one. In the first one, I still have stuff that was unexplored, like let me see, inherited, irremovable responsibilities. Well, I mean, yeah, I can know or I can remember how to explain something like that. Something like working cleverly. Well, I also have some idea. What else? Wishes to fulfill. It's kind of, yeah, how not acting matters. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess certainly, even if I have changed quite a bit since I started this whole streaming journey, I haven't forgotten those concepts. I think I will say I don't really get to understand it. Um, I don't know. I haven't. It has been so long since I visited this book that it feels weird to see how much I can find still ways to explain all of these concepts. Let me see another different thing. Mhm. What the fuck did I want to say this? Unending capacity mind and the gift of the thinking. What did I want to say with this? Unending mind, capacity, and the gift of thinking. Yeah, that's what I suspected. There are some explanations that I can't at this point. Um, After so many months, understand what I wanted to go with in those times. I mean, that is the second page, something in the third one, in which I became even more abstract. Let me see. Changing our plans, investing time in objectives, accepting all of our. Well, I mean, I guess it simply happens that I didn't have that much hope in myself. I guess I didn't expect to have so many ideas still well defined as I do right now when I am going back to visit what I already tried to, not that I tried, at the very least settle onto, let's say, exploring in in the future. So quite weird on one hand, on the other it doesn't really have that much of a weirdness. Just it just has some sides of amusement to it, let's say, because you don't expect in any way to find out how much of a quality or a capacity of connecting ideas you possessed in the past. I mean, yeah, I guess this comes from this whole notion of what I always liked, that is, there is a certain tendency that we possess towards um, downsizing or downplaying what was, or not only, or in general the past, in a sense of you try to make yourself look better in comparison to the past, because a lot of times, if you were to accept that your past self was somehow better than your present one, you will be dealing damage to your own image, because you should have kept evolving towards becoming an even better version of what has become now you. So to accept that the past self is in some ways more capable of dealing with things than the present one is certainly to deal with the notion that you failed on fulfilling your main role as somebody who wishes to progress towards life, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think it is at the very least quite weird. I guess so. And I don't know. I don't know. I I say, if I had to if I had to truly observe why is it that I was capable of coming up with so many of those concepts, in my case, a possible way um, might be something along the lines of I was just interested in dealing with things that were outside of my capacity, of not just my capacity, of my degree of understanding of anything overall. And it certainly was not that much of a seriousness to the degree to which I was mentioning then. And also, I quite still do the same thing. And I I don't really believe it is in any way a negative thing to have mentioned things that I was observing in those moments as the rest, not just the rest, but rather possibilities of observing if what I have just acquired in those instances um, of yeah, possibility of what I acquired in those instances of being explored furthermore, not only with myself but also with everybody else, in the sense of obviously trying to see more than anything else this whole notion of always, if the contents themselves of what one learns are being integrated, or you are rather, in my case at the very least, a very big doubt that I always possess, um, if you are mm, lying to yourself with the amount of attention that you are paying to some things, and believing that somehow what you are doing is just uh, a proper job at, in those cases, understanding anything, when in reality all that you are doing is transforming the possible times of acquiring those lessons, as in those spaces in which you put yourself in to supposedly learn things, you're transforming them into very clear ways of distracting or overwhelming your mind so that you don't have to think, let's say. And it might be some type of positive meditation, but certainly you're not learning, which should be most of the time, I guess. Or if you are obviously sacrificing so much, um, you should be learning. You should not be empty minded and not acquiring anything that is being presented to you, even more with such a clear intention to, or towards, being given to you. So I don't know. I think it is weird, and I think it always will be a little bit abstract when it comes to considering and observing all of these things. After all, you wouldn't really wish or believe, let's say, that anybody of that sort can somehow not obtain the qualities of any style, yeah, of any style of knowledge, and that somehow, despite everything being given to you, you still reject the possibility of learning just to abide to the chance of having some time to discombobulate. Not because I think you can also try to utilize relax in this context, but I believe relaxation itself is also something that you can obtain by simply controlling your emotional states and such. And in this case, what I am trying to refer is not just the act of not being stressed, but rather the act of letting go of every single pressure that affects you as an individual and playing an active role on not doing anything. Quite quite a hard thing to grasp, I believe, because after all, it can't be in any possible way easy to get if you have to certainly deal with the consequence or with the observation of how can you even talk about such things if you or in yeah if in these cases we are almost doing the opposite. We are paying attention to what we are saying and we are creating something different based on the images that come to our mind. Or that is my case. In the case of the one who might be hearing this, you are trying to put into a coherent sentence or into a coherent picture what is being said by the other side. So it certainly gets complex to now also integrate something completely outside of those things because you have to delve into the realm of somebody who is trying to get rid of every single thing that comes to mind and to get rid of every single possibility, obviously, of learning. And even more sadly, in these cases, the biggest slash worst consequence will always be that you don't get to enjoy, at least that is how I see it, you don't get to enjoy consuming or yeah, the nutritional value that is provided or the mental exercise that is provided by those things to you, because there is always a feeling that arises after exercising your brain, let's say, or exercising your mind, and that one feeling can be quite rewarding enough because it is as if you have acquired many knowledges that had been placed into their corresponding positions, so that now you can furthermore see in a better picture the whole world, let's say, and by ignoring what was being created and by deciding to only concentrate on not being what I said before, quote unquote, not being stressed, as in discombobulating yourself, you're just getting rid of almost any single progress that you made. I guess, yeah, that is weird after all. I don't think what I am mentioning in this case might be in any way true. I also think it is necessary for almost anybody to develop ways in which you can not pay attention to the things that are happening, right? And not pay attention to the different events that are ongoing on our life. But I see it also as maybe okay, maybe something like this. Maybe if you do it too much, what you're introducing into your life is the sad consequence of just exploring or developing a world that gets overwhelmingly hard to navigate in because you haven't created inside of yourself those tools that you needed to be part of this world that obviously requires you to be conscious and to have intoxicated your own consciousness with these spontaneous moments of living, I guess, of reality for the sake of just finding yourself satisfied with the instant pleasure that is given to you by not dealing with the problems themselves in the instance that they are happening, you will get, if it isn't in the first or second or third or tenth occasion, after some time you will unavoidably find yourself dealing with so much more than what you can really process, because it isn't like out of nowhere more and more problems kept affecting you. Rather, your capacities should have been evolving together with you, but because what you decided to do was to go in a way in which you are only minding things of the realm of quite graceless things, let's say, as yeah, in this consideration I am trying to mostly obviously say stuff of not so deep value and not so understandable value. So those things do get to be annoying and do get to be incredibly hurtful to process and such. And I don't know. I think it isn't that common for anybody to have things happening, but at the same time, you certainly have a lot of things succeeding around you or going on always around you. And if you decide to not be part of them, what you're just doing is robbing out of yourself the chance of once again partaking in the present. And unavoidably, I think so, unless you can somehow develop the capacity to not feel things towards the present itself, you will feel regret afterwards, because at some point you will notice that what you just did was remove from yourself the innate capacity of going through those instances of pure enjoyment. And by doing so, what now you have to deal with is the loss of that amount of time that you spent on more banal and selfish desires of not having to deal with so many problems all by yourself. And because that continues, and because that obviously even more keeps going throughout time, you don't get in any particular way to enjoy this whole act of dealing, or I don't know if it is dealing, I would rather say existing in a realm of complete enjoyment of this and even bigger realities. I feel like I don't get to completely know it also. I certainly don't see it as the most um, comprehensible concept, even if I myself wished to get it a lot more clearly. I I think it has multiple ways in which you might interpret what is being said, with the obvious part of all these things being quite troublesome, because what you're dealing with is not really an intellectual concept. It is just, yeah, it is just a consequence of life itself that you might not really deal with if you are not taking those actions. And you can't get completely what we are referring to here if you haven't gone through such experiences. And if you have gone through them, you will also notice that there are some parts that are missing, because the more you go through those same experiences, the more you get to fulfill this whole image of, yeah, of a mental field of things created and done by yourself, for yourself, and with others also, for the whole sake of enjoying existing. I believe so. And I don't know. I think it takes quite some time to be as mildly dedicated as anybody can be to find a proper response to such a thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. At this point, I think without once again without making up too much stuff. That is everything that I can say. I can always once again pull up the fictional side of such things and believe that what I am going to begin to talk about might be in any way real, but I am pretty sure the reality is quite the contrary. And not that it is in any way just negative because of that, but rather reality itself shows that you shouldn't try so hard to force yourself to get what is not happening to you, because even if what you're going through in some ways um, might be comprehensible, these things still need quite some time to get processed by yourself. Also, I believe so. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Let me now drink drink some water. I need that. I think after that we might continue. Uh, but yeah, yeah, I think that is the idea so far. That is the first thing that we can discuss today, or we have already discussed. I think so. Also, I think I am I am doubting about something, and I guess what should be pretty responsible to do is to talk about it instead of simply holding it inside of me. In this case, because I have been having this not so weird. I mean, I enjoy it pretty much, and that is to have some tiny amount of karaoke and similar things. So let me see, because I want to do something, but I don't want to take so much time. I believe so, or not that much time. It is rather that it feels weird sometimes to be so self-centered. I feel like, and I I don't say it as it is the worst thing to enjoy doing such banterful things, but the reality is I don't see that much of a real benefit behind them, and I don't know. I wish I wasn't that negative, but at the same time, I don't I don't really see it as an obligation, and I don't really see it as something that needs to happen for any particular reason besides the simple banter that it makes or that it contains by itself. I guess I don't know. Yeah, I what I will do is I will make a poll. I need to make up a poll, and I will let people decide. I can't really deal with this question by myself. I guess. let me make this. Let me link this also. And after that, I am closing Twitter. I am not looking Twitter anymore for the next, I don't know, um, 14 hours. That is how long this whole thing lasts. So yeah, that's that. I guess I don't know. I I enjoy it, but also sadly, I noticed I visited the last one that I had to do, and I don't have that many skills on karaoke, and I I know that always this is about having a good time and whatever, but I think I would have a better time if I knew that what I am giving was good enough. I don't know. I guess sometimes it is just too much of a rationalization of things rather than trying to feel what is behind them. I mean, after all, certainly it will feel good to have karaoke, I guess, but one doesn't wish to be so annoying. I don't know, I don't know. Besides the point, moving on to something else because that is what I simply wanted to express, and I made it longer than what was really necessary. Um, I had been continue learning, and I feel pretty weirded out sometimes when I see that ideas from so far in the past are not just still being applied in the present. Because I can pretty much understand that we have a lot of the notions given to us by the older people. Like, I don't think it is weird in any way to call a rock as we did, like, I don't know, probably 1,000 years ago, and it literally still remains the same definition, a rock, or maybe a more detailed one in some areas, but overall, the mental image of a rock remains the same. And I don't mean that, I mean more advanced ideas like what is a society and what is a democracy and, and very, very similar things. Because after all, it gets to be very weird. Once again, I feel like we did so much in the past. We advanced so much with different ideas. We somehow lost them or abandoned them just to go back into those same ideas. Like, I don't know, 1,000 years in the future, or a thousand and a half years in the future, and that is always incredibly discomforting. I don't know. I don't get to know completely why it is so annoying sometimes, but it does feel certainly eccentric to say the least, the very very least. That these things take such shapes. I believe so. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, yeah. Besides that, or not besides, because I was just mentioning it as the preamble for the rest of this. That is, I say this in particular because I was observing. Um, I had been reading, or more. Yeah, I don't really read that much. I had been hearing um, Plato's Republic and or the Republic, and it has been a pretty wild ride because after all, there are a lot of definitions and there are a lot of quite insightful talks. I believe so. I I don't want to insult the book itself, but I believe somebody like Nietzsche or yeah, Kierkegaard had a little bit more advanced capacities of writing stories. I mean, somebody that I read a lot, yeah, in the past, that was Zarathustra, that has sticking with me more than what I have heard so far in the Republic. And quite amazingly, the Republic is like how much I think 70% more long, even more longer than the average Zarathustra reading. So that is why it feels weird to see how few things can be extracted sometimes. I guess that still applies almost to anything after all. Narrations don't have the obligation to contain, at every single sentence, the most amazing concept or the most bewildering idea for the spectator to get amazed or anything like that. I mean, I guess sometimes what also happens, even, not even, to every single human, also obviously to myself, is you get to deal with some notions, and because you're dealing with those notions, and even more obviously, you continue learning from the places that you did, you end up obtaining those wonderfully deep ins- insights that guide you towards almost any type of lesson that ends up giving you, obviously, a way into, in these cases, I believe so, um, delving and questioning what you knew. But not only it happens in pretty complex spaces, the best type of them are those that, because a sentence impacts correctly, it can change your whole perspective on something that you thought you knew pretty well or you had a pretty clear stance on. And those are the things that sometimes happen out of nowhere, which you are certainly in no way expecting to find out. And even less, I guess almost nobody is even wishing to get those type of divinations or conflicts to deal with, because after all, you have to quite accept that they are all, I believe so, they are all so incredibly deep that they do not simply make you think a little bit, but also give you a sense, or not just a sense, um, they give you a little bit of that unknownness of the world itself that makes you learn and makes you be part of the whole journey of, I believe so, discovering the world. And I don't know. It is wonderful, but the problem is always you don't get to really discover those many occurrences, and you don't get even to choose which kind of um, lesson you are going to find being applied to you out of nowhere. Certainly, nobody gets to predict what they are going to get confronted with when it comes to revelations and such. So that is a weird thing after all. I don't know if that is something healing. I think if we have to leave the realm of just day to day life to try to explain it from the side of maybe it is something related to the whole concept or idea of sometimes you are dealing with things that are above you, because these things are not just simply talking about your own nature, but are also taking into consideration what you believe you know and what you believe you hold inside of you. And if those things become more and more abstract, what you end up doing with enough time is rediscovering or finding questions or getting proposed questions that you yourself couldn't have pointed out, because from your own perspective, things should have not been questioned the way in which they were so. So, by letting those events simply come to you instead of focusing on pursuing them or even believing that it is possible for you to willingly control how are they going to happen. By simply letting them happen and experiencing those things as they come to you, you get to deal or to be part of this whole constant process of learning and immersing yourself in more and more notions that have to deal, as always, I think so, with different sides more related to what can, not just what can, what is contained inside of your own side of notions or preconceptions that make up the world that you already know. And because you can't change them yourself, it is always necessary for somebody else to come and question you or interrogate you about those things. I believe so. And I don't know, I don't know. Um, I think, yeah, the weird thing that I think is I don't know which side of the conversation we're having, if this is uh, just philosophy or what, but I know it is something. Um, Something interesting to observe. I guess the problem is you it takes quite some time to analyze itself because after all you're talking about things that can almost never happen controlledly, and even more if you believe that you have a possibility of controlling them, maybe you're going to negatively affect the process itself because after all I think it will be always good to only receive questions, or not just questions, to always deal with the divinations given to you by others and to deal with the problems presented by the past rather than to have to just accommodate your responses what can only be born from you. I think so. And I think it takes quite some time to see it that way instead of just letting it all fall into place or something like that, in which you stop even believing that it is possible for you to change your outlook in life and you almost close your mind to the possibility of that happening. And because you did so, you sadly get no chance at, once again, being happy in this world because after all, this whole adventure of finding out and delving with different concepts that lets you be entertained with the world and lets you be immersed with not just notions but also different types of, yeah, of new cognitions and new sides to the sense older concept that you believed you already understood, but now you truly get to fully grasp because things of that manner can't be fully controlled. It is more possible for anybody to close themselves off of the possibility of finding out what they might go for and what they might do with those, well, with those big possibilities and almost uncontrollable chances on their lives than to just accept that out of nowhere they might get their whole optics change because somebody literally made one or two or three or five questions, and that was somehow enough to make them question everything out of nowhere. So yeah, I don't know. So sometimes it feels weird. I guess that's what I wanted to say. Sometimes it feels weird, and I have no way to decide if it is really that way or not. I guess I I can't fully say. Sometimes once again, I the, the limitation of our own knowledge is certainly overwhelming sometimes. In this case, it doesn't even allow me to know eh, if what I am mentioning is at all understandable or not. So yeah, I guess we might have to simply move on to something different at this point. Well, I mean, we have 5 minutes before the hour mark, so let me make some tiny banter in the meanwhile. After all, we just need to fill once again 5 more minutes, and after that, we are finally going into this whole process of thinking. What a beautiful thing it is to think, explain what plagues the mind, at least my mind. Yeah, I yeah, something that I never paid attention to is I always obviously do this whole process alone because there is almost no way for me to do it with someone else, or that is what I believed. I have never really tried to invite somebody else to see if I can get them to explain something the way in which we do here. I never thought about that, I guess. Somehow, I. Is it because I am too self centered? Maybe. Is it because I also want to, quote unquote, not annoy anybody? Also, a possibility. I don't know. I guess it just happens that you don't really find yourself capable, I believe, of talking with others and forcing what. Yeah, I think even if it feels good for me, the reality is I am almost sometimes forcing others to think, and I don't think they really enjoy it that much. After all, I am pretty sad I haven't truly yet found a solution for this whole idea of, oh yeah, you know what, I'm going to just pay no attention to what is happening and pay no mind to what might be going on because I want to be doing just my thing and such. So I don't get to decide on those things, but at the very least, I get to I get to enjoy this process, even if it is all by myself. I guess. Um, I don't know. I never once again I never considered that as a possibility. I think quite amazing. After all, it will be even easier if I get somebody else, no, to whom I could uh, invite here and force them to explain their concepts and see what we can end up learning from them. But at the same time, I guess the problem is you need to know which things the other people know. And I am not somebody so social so that I get to know how many things people does understand about their different ideas and such. Therefore, I don't have the possibility in these cases of talking about the concepts that they might hold inside of themselves. So, therefore, I don't, in these cases, I don't get to say which ideas, concepts, or views they possess about anything that might be useful for us. And that is obviously certainly only because of my limited capacity of interacting with others. I guess in that sense, yeah, we go back to what I mentioned some time ago. I seem somewhat sociable. I am not really that sociable. In if we get down to it, I barely talk with anybody. It is weird somehow how projecting an image gets so incredibly easy in that sense because I don't really have that much communication with anybody, and I don't see it as a necessity or as an obligation even. So that is fun. I feel like I don't feel forced or I don't feel inclined towards those things. I don't know. I never. I never analyze those things that much. I might not be ready yet to find out the responses for those concepts. But yeah, besides the point, continue with something else and something more interesting because, as I said before, I I wish to go with something that I might have been thinking about, but not exactly with something that was on the book, rather something that I just had been thinking lately. That I have some more fresher optics on and some more fresher views on, so that we can get to the deepest parts of the idea without worrying even a bit for what might be contained inside of them. I believe so. And yeah, let me see. Um, it will take me quite some time to first and foremost get it organized on my head. That will be quite a problem. But let me let me see. I we have this on one hand. Okay, there is the scene setup. Let me also marker. There it is. Transition. There it is. Here we are. Let me make this big. And well, I had something that I wanted to talk about. I was thinking about this lately. The problem is, it, it literally, as I was trying to mention it, it left my mind. Give me a second, because I, okay. I remember now. I, I don't remember exactly the source. That will be a problem. That I hope doesn't come back in any form whatsoever. Because it was quite interesting, the idea by itself, without the necessity of taking into consideration any part of the previous context, even if by it also can be helpful to this conversation, maybe, while you have no context, it still provides you with some useful notions. I feel like so. Let's see. Um, so it was something like, mm, mm, what the fuck? What did I do? What is this shit? What did I just do? My brother? What the fuck? I love not knowing Krita to the point to which I know which hotkey I used there. Nice. Anyways, Okay. The problem is obviously the question is kind of long, so let me let me take some time to explain it. I don't remember exactly where it was at this point that I heard it, but I had this. Yeah, it wasn't that I heard. I heard this one conversation about how men have an incredibly complex time talking about their emotions with other men, and not that it simply happens that you can't talk with emotions with any human on earth, or the problem is it doesn't just exist in the context of men to men. It is very much related mostly with what has to deal with men can't really talk with their friends about emotions, and that is where it gets preoccupying. Because you should be capable of having this type of conversation with your friends, and you should not be worrying about this type of problems with not with um, without others. I think so because you, as somebody who is sociable, should possess a social network enough to find yourself capable of existing with support of others, and obviously being capable of asking for others' support when it ends up being necessary for your own existence also, because at the end of the day, once again, you have no obligation to talk about these things. No, but there is almost no real obligation to do anything in particular. So to excuse yourself with, well, it certainly is not necessary, is not even a proper response to this idea. Um, yeah, I don't know. Let me see. Let us start with this. I think I was I heard about this idea. I can't remember where, first and foremost, because I think it is always necessary. I heard about this idea in a podcast that I heard, and it was quite interesting because they mentioned a lot of the points that we are going to visit later on. And that is, as first, it simply ends up being you don't have a place where you get to share what you feel with other men and to understand your feelings with them. So that ends up being a problem because you don't get to express those sentiments with anybody in a way in which you can do it and get understood completely, because be it a woman or be it a psychologist, they already have filters that stop them from giving you responses that you would like to hear more. Uh, and compared to when a man gets to be open enough to talk about not just problems, but their emotions with other men, that is when they get to communicate and to be part of this whole group of talks aimed towards, yeah, getting to almost create a consensus and getting to try and understand all of these things as something that can be solved rather than just a transaction almost between you and somebody who has as an objective just to hear what you're saying and to give you their response without taking quote unquote so much into consideration what you might want to do. Because supposedly when you are with other men, or at least that is what happens in other areas where male communication does flourish, you get to put, yeah, to be more empathic with the other men, and you get to work with them together to create something that the both of you understand properly. You don't have problems um, talking about these things because once again you aren't more than enough to understand one another, and you get once again to not worry about receiving improper answers. Firstly, because you know that they know you, and secondly, because even if it were to happen, the context itself provides you with the tools of saying or for saying that what they are telling you is complete nonsense and that the solution you might want for that one problem is completely different. And by doing so, you get to create an ambient where you might arrive to a desired solution, not just the best one for this other person, but rather one where means gets to discover the solution that one of them was desiring the most, and that in this case, the person affected by their sentiments gets to use for the sake of dealing with such emotions the most, instead of just getting regurgitated almost ideas that can't apply to them in almost any way, because obviously they don't have the chance to, once again, what I mentioned before, they don't get the chance to deal with such minuscule parts of the problem itself that do make out of these things even a bigger problem than before, as it obviously affects their whole ways, I believe so, and ends up making them have certainly a lot of worrisome things to deal with later on. But let's see. From here, we have, in reality, we have just started asking this question. We haven't really moved into anywhere so far. So, once again, tracing back to the question itself, um, a potential cause was kind of defined already. It kind of assumes what I had been talking about for the last, I don't know, 5 minutes, that you certainly have a lot of things related to just you dealing with different aspects of trying your best and considerably also trying consistently enough with your closer ones or with your closer friends to find that solution that will satisfy you in particular, that ends up getting called here the solution, because it is only the one that you will see um, fits for your objectives, not just a random one that might get you to deal with any problem that you possess. So that is one first cognition into this whole mm, problem. I believe so. Because after here, or from here, we end up sadly having to move into. Where do we move from here? I know that there is also something that we should try to define in this case as why such a problem exists. And I think obviously getting to define the problem would end up will end up getting us almost to find the answer itself. I believe so. So it is complex. Let me okay. You know what? Let me drink water so far, and I will see if I can come up with a solution in the meanwhile, um, or with a way to approach that in question. There is a fucking mosquito. Amazing. Anyways, I think we can start with this. Uh, it goes from here, or yeah, it comes from this one main question. Okay, okay, okay. One second, the fucking same error. Nice. Yeah. No, the other side. But there it is. I was while I was writing that, I also noticed that I can remember a very good reason, and I don't know where is it exactly that I heard about it, but it validates what we are trying to discuss here because it gives you a pretty consistent motive as to why you will try your best to not even mention such things to your quote unquote elders. Or not just elders, also, because I think to a certain extent we understand the necessity of communicating our feelings. I will, I believe the men understand that there is an obligation for them to communicate what they are feeling about any particular situation, but also at the same time it also makes them aware about how much of a problem it can be for them if they do so with the incorrect person or at the incorrect time, because the rationality that the man possesses ends up driving them towards over stimulating themselves towards believing then that if they were to engage in a conversation deep enough with somebody who wasn't in the proper state of mind or in the proper time, what they're going to do is disrupt them, because that is what they were not simply told but also shown as examples in their younger age. And this is where I say that it is something that we get told and it is something that we get taught. It doesn't happen that out of nowhere you develop a tendency towards not mentioning your emotions or such things. Um, Here is that, like, for example, I remembered a very good idea, or a very good quote that fits this whole this whole narrative. I believe something like this. Probably something like this, right? If I'm not wrong. Um, I know there are some others, but I can. At the very least, with this, though, we have a starting point here, because we're already mentioning what is going on with all of these things, and we're already bringing some light into these concepts and similar things, I think so. So, yeah, with this, we're starting to elucidate some minimal amounts of comprehension into, once again, what is it that this appears as a problem? What is it that what is it that initial cause of people telling the men in society that they shouldn't express their feelings to others becomes such a natural thing? And I think I don't really know exactly where for everybody it happens, but I am pretty sure for the big majority of men, at where, yeah, when they should be civilized, um, when they are getting told different rules about society, that is when they also learn about these facts. That is, you shouldn't become a burden to your family, and you shouldn't in any way be a problem for those around you, because your utmost objective is always, in certain ways, to provide for them, and in certain others, to be their support. So you should not break down, and you should not cry, and you should not be the figure that is weak in the eyes of your family, and you should not lose hope, because, and that is also what I was talking about, examples. The different examples given to illustrate these things are not ones made with the conscious um, idea of just showing the negative side of giving up on your own life. They are rather directed at impressing a young mind with the negative aspects of, I believe, just having a normal moment of weakness almost, in which you just feel like what you tried to do, what you went for, what you have been doing, what you used to go for, and similar things are not being the problem here, are not only affecting you, they are also affecting your whole family. I think most of these examples talk about how if you as a man start to fail in your whole family, what you're going to do is not only to bring yourself down or to have a moment of weakness, what you might be putting at risk is the wholeness of your family. So in this case, it starts to be cultivated this notion and this whole insight as to why even trying to talk about such things is incredibly dangerous for you, and it's incredibly dangerous also for those around you. And I think we can move from here into something else. It is quite related to the point that I am going to make, and it will, after the tier one, it finally connects with what I said on the upper side. Um, okay, we started with something. Something that pretty much happens in any type of society, but in this case, it ends up being even more important because it shows that if when you are young enough and you are going into society, you start to socialize and you show lack of understanding about such a rule, what is going to happen to you in such an age when you do such an action is you're going to get shunned by your equals and you're going to get affected by the exacting observations and remarks made by those who tell you that you're not capable of complying. Once again, the social rules prescribed by somebody who they might not even know, but they believe is right about such things. So either you adapt to fit or you become a complete misfit of a male, in which case probably you might not have to worry about socializing because you will become um, capable of doing so, but at the end, you will have your own emotions under control in that sense of you will now have the capacity of expressing your emotions with the rest because you believe that it is proper for you to do so regardless of the bullying that you suffer from the rest, or because that is probably not even the 5% of the population that does suffer that type of bullying, the most common type of thing. You will change your ways and you will adapt to that norm that was created by somebody else who you might not, but who you respect. Because after all, if everybody else is also respecting, you will now believe that what they are saying and what they are telling you is really good or useful. So you will now um, use that as a proper guidance or as a proper reference for the rest of your existence. Let's say, so after here, when you get corrected, obviously you change your ways and you become better. Sorry, I had to tie my hair. When you become aware of these things and you get corrected and you change your ways, you also become aware of the necessity of correcting anybody who shows such an, an act. And the problem is because you are so affected by the correction applied to you by others that you even fully identify which things you let's say you are dealing with and you are learning about by yourself in this type of uh, realms. I think so. Because of those things, what ends up happening is later on you don't really get to, let's say, understand or, yeah, be capable of identifying any possible way to deal with these problems, nor even less, I think so. Um, you get to l- you get to be part of the side of society that believes that it is good to talk about such things. Because I mean, after all, women have it justified. They are taught that it is necessary for them to communicate their emotions. I mean, after all, with social concepts, it is pretty well known that if a woman tries to tell you their emotions, what you should try to do is to comfort them. And if you, that is on the case of a male, and if you're a female, what is appropriate for you is at the very least try to hear what they are saying. And if it isn't possible for you to solve their problem, you should try to go to a male to tell them what is going on, or to go to a higher figure of power to also play the role of the one who was capable of telling what was wrong with this individual and such. That is when such things become present, and that is also obviously when such notions and concepts take control of what you believe and what is going on with you. Let's say, um, I don't fully get it as something so common. I don't see it as something so widespread. I don't I don't observe it as the most easy to find thing. But what ends up happening with enough time is later on you, I think, you get to probably after such a lesson become also an enforcer of such a thing, as I said before. And now from here it happens that I think I should be able to fit this description over here. Uh, let me. I need to separate the stuff a lot. Yeah. Okay. because terms. Okay. Lose. Oh, the cor- to Siberia. The correction to Siberia. I don't know if it is you overcorrect or you will overcorrect. I believe it is you will. Okay. And now this is finally where it all ends up connecting back into what I was trying to mention. Because it might seem like it doesn't really make sense in terms of talking about why such things happen, but it's I think it isn't that you simply lack empathy. It is more along the lines of you have just learned about different things and you have just explored different concepts. So now what you're trying to do is making the best of your efforts to be capable of, I guess I feel like, learning about any of this sort. Not that you are not capable of learning, sorry. You can't get to know something that you were too impacted with and too, yeah, too affected with. Such an experience marks your life in the way in which almost every single male believes that it is necessary for them to the save the problem of dealing with their emotions to anybody. Because once again, the consequences are painted as the worst kind of thing that could happen to anybody. So obviously, what ends up happening in those cases is you should always try to not have, not you, the male tries always to not have to deal with those moments. Therefore, they end up overcorrecting. And because it takes so much of a priority in their lives, what ends up also happening at the same time is these same people gets to believe, let's say, or gets to experience probably what can be described as, I would say, not that these people, in reality, almost every single male, uh, they get to learn that it will always be better to suffer their emotions in silence than to share them with others. And I think that is kind of the response as to why this happens so far, if I am not wrong. Because, as I said before, this short description made up here ends up connecting the concepts as to how is it that we created such an ocean, or how, or why, obviously, also, is it that we are sharing such an idea as the quote unquote appropriate view on such mm, problems in life. when in reality, what I'm postulating is probably or might be possible to be considered under one of the many statements made by that side of the toxic masculinity rather than just a normalized masculinity. So, from there, where is it that we go? Which thing is it that we have to try to explain or whatever? Um, I believe, yeah. Let me. I noticed I liked an S here. Let me. There it is. Let me see. I'm not missing some part of the explanation itself, just in case. No, right? Okay. We can move from here to. I guess how to solve it. I don't know if. Let me see. I think I can. Yeah, I can connect something out of that. Probably. I hope that is going to be hard, but I hope. Uh, mm, oh, well, no. Let me see. Um, well, I mean, the reality is there are more problems that happen with this. So yeah, we can progress with that in reality. Um, Let me. How is it that I say this? I think I should have made this sentence a little bit shorter, but fuck it anyways. Um, they can't show. They can't show love, appreciation. Yeah, appreciation. Let me say like this. Appreciation. How how is it said? With C? Appreciation. Sort of friends. Yeah, directly. Right? Yeah. Here we go. Um, so, with this, we have a beginning of an explanation, I believe, because once again, once men lose their capacity to express themselves, what ends up happening as a consequence is that with their friends, they don't obtain or they don't have the chance even to tell them how important they are for each other. Because if it is a problem already to do such a thing with your family, let's say you shouldn't tell your wife that you are having problems in work. Um, what ends up happening even more in a man-to-man relationship of friendship is if you minimally state something that is out of the ordinary of wow bro, what a nice day we had today, as in wow bro, I like you very much because you're a very good friend, you might be already quote unquote overstepping your boundaries because what you're going for or what you're saying might fall not under the category really of something good, I believe, or of something useful for those who are not useful, something capable of reflecting your own emotions to the man. What you are saying in reality gets misinterpreted as a proof of a weird way, yeah, of a weird way to tell them that you feel something for them. Because in reality, okay, I think at this point we are we there are so many things here, and I don't think we're going to be capable of dealing with such a topic in such a short amount of time. This is bad. This is bad. I didn't thought. I think I wasn't capable of taking into account how many sides this has, and that is why we find ourselves right now having. I don't know if it is going to take me two or probably three whole canvases to explain every single thing that happens related to this properly without cluttering everything so much. So let's do this. I'm going to take like a 5 minute break already because I want to be with my head clear to continue with such an idea. In this case, I believe we can deal with this probably if we spend like 2 more hours, but it all needs a little bit of willpower. So yeah, let me take like 5 minutes, and after that, we are going to be back, and we're going to continue dealing with all of this concept. I don't know how it will go, but I believe it will happen that we will finish with this at some point in the night. I hope so. I will try once again my best. So yeah, there it is. I made the marker. Let me do this. 5 minutes around. Here it is the clock, around a minute 46 or so. And trying to get back to here. Probably, yeah, I will try to not overextend the break. So yeah, 5 minutes. Uh, Why it is so fucking cold, my brother? I can't deal with this shit anymore. Anyways, we are back. Let's continue with this. Um, I am almost shivering. What the fuck is going on? Argentina? Are we going to die of global warming? What is this? But well, after complaining, let me continue with this. On, I was watching this thing, and I think certainly it will be a problem to try and explain it all. I guess unavoidably we have a lot of shit to deal with, sadly. So that is annoying. That is certainly annoying. I didn't expect it to be. No, I don't think it is simply uh, just complex. It is more like a question that has too many sides to itself. So it ends up needing um, long observation to be properly answered and such. And that is what the problem arises. But well, yeah, give me a fucking second. I need something to cover myself. I am shivering. Back now for real. So, as I was trying to say, sadly, we have too many things to cover. But well, we will see how we can deal with as many of them as possible. I don't think we're with this today. At the very least, we are going to go for 3 hours of trying to explain this. We already did one. We have two more left, so that shouldn't take that long. But well, um, hello, lines. Hello, 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 hello. What's up, Greta? Greta. Okay, it's changed color. Nice. Do you know why? Let me see here. So, what is the best way to say this? Instances? Yeah. Give me a second. Instances. Let's skip. Curing. Curing is good to see. I don't remember at this point. Uh, let's suppose that it does. Hello, Mew. Welcome, welcome. Um, very, very good night, I think it is. I welcome. Anyways, so we're trying to find something. Yeah. we have been talking a little bit. So far, I am just that um, I yeah, this is long. We started with the question of why do men have such a hard time telling about their emotions with other men. I I wanted to explore this, and I ended up getting into something rather complicated. But yeah, um, here we are. uh, what is your take on bear question? Which bear? I I don't know what is the bear question. If you were to explain yourself, I can give you an answer. I don't know what is what is the better question, but I can make up one. I guess yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Uh, what it is something. else. Keep. Okay. Basically, it's just a girl being told to choose between being stuck in a forest with a barrel with Twitter has gone on. It's right. Ah, okay. I think I saw it kind of. Kind of. I think it was. Yeah, yeah. I kind of remember what it was about. I I mean, I I don't know if it is a girl being forced to choose whatever she chose, but if it was me in the position of a girl, I would, if I had to be realistical, I would probably choose to not die being killed by a bear because I don't think the bear is going to be considerate enough to not kill me, probably. But I can pretty much see why, and even more a place like Twitter is going to get angry at a postulate like, oh yeah, you should choose to have something very traumatic happen to you. After all, I think it was that was what was being said, right? That the give me a second. The it was the bear, right? The oh, is what is the face of a bear? Something like this. Let's suppose that this is a bear. Yeah, it is the bear that is going to kill you because it is angry or something like that on one end. And, in the other, you have the man who is probably going to do bad things to you, right? Like, right? A very bad looking guy. So you should certainly, if you want to survive, you have to go through this bad experience. But there is no obligation to do so. So if you are willing to risk or it is kind of a suicide after all. If you are capable of choosing that, probably you're going to simply take the easy route of the bear. But if you want to survive, you have to go through the battle. Um, oh fuck! This is amazing. Give me. Let's wait for a second. Wait, what? Which ads? There are no ads playing. Which ads? Eh? There are ads. There are there are ads. Ah, pre-roll ads. Those are amazing. Ah, those are amazing. Those are amazing. Um, Jan? Wait, what? Jan? Isn't Jan feminine suffix? It's being implied. Uh, what? This is the tutor side. So, Mio, are we back? Are we back? I I don't know. If you're back, I can say discomfort. Okay, 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 okay. So I was saying that you have two options, right? You have the bear on one side, and on the other you have the bad guy who's probably going to do bad things to you. And I think in a place like Twitter, you're not going to find people who is going to choose to go through a kind of traumatic experience. I guess they will probably choose to fucking die being killed by a bear instead of instead of going through the traumatic experience that is the bad guy who's going to do bad things to you. If that is the question, if I am not wrong, I repeat, I don't remember it so well, but yeah, there is no real win situation here. You either get traumatized for life or you directly die. I guess if it was the less worst one, probably I would. If I had to choose, I guess. Yeah, yeah, I would choose the bear. I guess. Uh, I would prefer to end it instead of instead of having to carry something that level of traumatic. I believe. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it is in any way uh, something that by choosing one you have a less painful destiny. I guess I feel so, right? I don't know, but yeah, that's my response to that question. I guess I feel like, and also yeah, what is going on? Yeah, just white. Hello, yeah. Krita, are we? What's up, Krita? What? Okay. It isn't a drawing. What's up with Greta? Did I change layers or something? I didn't change layers, right? No. What's up with Greta? Ah, okay, there it is. It was lag. It was simply lag. Nice. But yeah, I think there is no real good response there. I believe so. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. I don't know. And this was at like 10, I think. Yeah, it was at 10 and it was pitch black. And okay. So, let's go. Ah, God. Surface level? No. Superficial. Okay. Superficial. 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 Yeah. Superficial relations. So yeah, I think up to here. Huh? Too many. I don't really. Also, wait. I said this, and I don't know. I don't mean it in a bad tone, but new. Uh, why Chan? Isn't Chan the feminine suffix? If I am not wrong, it is the feminine suffix, right? What's the implication of what you're saying there? But yeah. Um, besides that, I can only properly speak English, Spanish, and I know a little bit of Portuguese, a little bit of French, and a little bit of Italian. But those are like, I don't know, if I have English and Spanish like between native level and a formal level, I have the rest at, I don't know, basic conversation type of level. Not that much. Not that high of a capacity. Um, I haven't, not that I haven't slacking. I really don't practice languages that much. I I believe I, in a certain way, I have already enough with English and Spanish. After all, I wouldn't want to learn Chinese or another language of that sort that is so global. And yeah, those are the I said languages that I know to a certain extent. And well, I mean, you also have Latin. I I have a little bit of Latin because obviously Spanish is closely related to Latin, so is it is pretty good. And also, I hope what I say you can understand it. Just in case I will translate it afterwards. Em, ciertamente el español es un lenguaje complejo, así que muchos ánimos con el proceso de aprender. And just in case, as I said, um, Spanish is certainly complex when it comes to its arrangements and such, so I hope you can learn it. And I know that probably you can. That is also I I know that you can if you try it hard enough. Anime, what? Anime. Well, I didn't. Uh, I think I didn't say anime, but no, I didn't say anime in any part. I I don't think so. Uh, yeah. Yeah, animo. It's like encouragement, basically. Like um, a direct translation will be something like um, have faith. I think it is something like that. Is the direct translation of animo. So yeah. I think you can. I think you can make it. After all, well, yeah, there is obviously the problem that Spanish has the masculine and feminine pronouns at in contrast to English, which simply has the and such to describe objects. And here in Spanish, many of the objects are directly on one or another in gender. And also, obviously, you have the problem of those who are in the middle, yeah, in the object category. So it is complex, but if you try hard enough, I think you will make it. Just just keep hitting your head against the wall, as they will say, figuratively, to learn. But yeah. Now, um, I think I didn't forget to add anything so far. It was, if I am not wrong, with what I finished over here was um, when people get, or not when people, when it's the problem, having the socialize with and they can't express their emotions, they also learn that they can't, in any particular way, be capable of communicating what they are feeling to their other mutuals in terms of a relationship of mutuals in which they try to establish a sense of confidentiality by which not having access to the part of the emotions that gets negated as a man. Now, throughout the repeated occurrences of this same problem, that is what I said here, throughout the repeated occurrence of that same problem, what ends up happening is these men now have to deal, sadly, with the consequence of the mood getting tainted as a getting tainted because the men can't express themselves naturally, and it is impossible for them to say anything of the sort of "I like you, bro," or We had a good time," without making it sound weird. And obviously, once again, going back into what I mentioned over here, if something were to be, mm, if a particular remark were to be made in which it sounds mildly emotional, it already gets taken as something weird because the man is taught that being emotional in almost any way is negative, or at the very least, what happens is if they are not told directly that, what they get told is that they shouldn't be overly emotional with examples that hit incredibly deep in a sense of, yeah, of the formation of the concept of a man that the human or the child itself is creating. So therefore, here it is where we reach the part of that every single relationship that a man can form with others ends up being superficial. So I don't. Ah, okay, okay, yes. From here, it happens something. Is to be right? Is it to be forbid? Oh, it's to be, I think. Relations slowly. Okay. So yes, after finishing with what I said, um, the consequence or the natural consequence of not being capable of. Well, I wouldn't really know if it is the consequence or rather just another part of the same problem. Because after all, if you can't express your emotions with your friends, you can't really tell them that you miss them, as I say here, and you don't get the possibility of talking with them about any particular side of how things do really feel inside of you, and accepting that emotional side that exists inside of every single being, be it a man or any other type of category that we might try to utilize for this argument. So, in this case, what ends up naturally happening is because, once again, such a look, yeah, such a vociferation as "I miss you, bro" is seen as something weird between mates. The relationships start to drift apart because there is no way in which you can tell the brother that, yeah, your quote unquote bro, what you are feeling and how much you really want to see them and how much you want to spend time with them once again. Because once again, this this goes back to the whole notion that sadly, somehow, if you express any type of emotion at all as a man, you're observed kind of as a, in older terms, as somebody who is gay or who is, I think I can say that's the word, the F word. Yeah, yeah, I can say it. Yeah, I can say that one. Like the other F word, and that you are overly emotional and you are probably wrong to a certain extent because I guess certainly it is a problem, huh? It certainly traces back to this whole side of here. In some point, the man, the ideal man was burdened with the notion that they have no possibility of expressing their feelings. And because of that, what I really believe is that they have no chance of enjoying any type of relationship with another man without making it weird when emotions are introduced into the formula. And I think so far until this point, everything is quite easy to explain because we're only moving in one direction, as in, okay, this is probably the first thing, this is like the second, this is like the third, and such, and so on and so forth. But the more we delve into the problem, the more it gets all interconnected. Because once again, it isn't like the man can simply say, I I enjoy being with you. Also, hello, Arkia. I hope you're fine, bro. It isn't like the men can't enjoy some nice time with their brothers or anything like that. It is like the whole the whole concept of how something of that sort might happen is already impeded because trying to accept such emotions and trying to tell them already taints you, already marks you as somebody weird. What's a wh- why do we have such a problem to deal with? Why? Um, I, I I understand so far what we're talking about, but I don't know if there is any real solution to this. After all, it almost requires every single thing of society to change. After all, how can you expect the, every single male on the world to stop being such a basic animal that if they were to stop believing that expressing their emotions will make them in any way um, less of a person, they will get to enjoy more and they will get to have a healthier lifestyle. Because now I remember a lot of other concepts that I was also hearing, like, for example, it isn't like just relationships disappear from the life of a man and they can spring new ones. It is it is incredibly complex. When you get to a certain age, your capacity to socialize ends up devolving because you have already quote unquote created a space in which you already know how to disinvolve yourself, and having to introduce yourself to a new space requires skills that, if you don't use them, you very easily lose them. And believing that in any way, at 30 years old, 40, 50 years old, you are going to be capable of forming part of a new group and instating yourself as a new possible friend of somebody else so easily is quite the opposite or almost impossible event for any single male, because once again we're not simply dealing with one question or one single it has behind of it like 20 different sides, and I certainly don't like talking about this. It is incredibly uncomfortable taking into consideration how many more things we still have to keep observing, but anyways, um, here, what is what is really the next point? Also, I kind of noticed after 7 minutes, no, 5 minutes of ranting, okay, that I didn't tell you what the fuck is going on. My bad. We are simply discussing this question: why do men have such a hard time talking about their emotions with other men? Simply that. That was the start of everything. Aside from that, I think I did quite a rundown, um, albeit indirectly. But yeah, um, my bad. So from here, where do we? Can I scrap this? Can I start somewhere else? I want to I want to start somewhere else. Can I do it? I hate this idea. I Yeah, okay. Let's go to something even deeper then. Let's fucking do it. No, it isn't a shame. Haha, Bronchi. Um, I think it is like this. Should. this is the proper setup for the next beautiful part of this. Ah, so yeah, so far we're only going to say that because it is impossible to enter into any argument or discussion of any idea that minimally might involve any set of emotions and might enable the people to have a conversation in which they really accept that it is necessary to open up themselves and be vulnerable to have those conversations in which you go over different ideas to analyze and really comprehend what is it that is going on inside of you. The capacity that exists inside of any male social group of dealing with problems related to their own happiness slowly disappears, and the more they try to deal with these problems, the own nature of their previous learnings conflicts more and more with them because it ends up being impossible to replace or to remove what were they told since they were almost kids. So it ends up taking the form was just another problem by which they get affected and by which they can't or of which they can't liberate, sorry. So with these things into consideration, now we get finally into the next and now for real complicated part. Um, I think this is too much vulnerability, even for myself, and I don't like it. But continuing, I need, okay, I need, I guess it happens that sometimes I choose the worst. But well, yeah. Continuing with what I was trying to say before, um, what what was presented was that what should be a place for the human to have this type of conversations and for the human themselves to be capable of expressing all of their emotions, being now destroyed and being now invalidated as a place in which you also don't get to share what is it that you're feeling and what is it that you're going through. What ends up happening is sadly, at the very least, and that is what I get to tell inside of the spectrum. The average male ends up having no other place to really find themselves capable of expressing whatever. And albeit it is possible to mention quote unquote some places in which they can do so, once again, you have to go back into the stereotypes by which they are told that they should be no burden to anybody, or that they should be the problem for their family, or that once again, all of these notions, they should die or they should not be born, or they should not open somebody who might not want to hear it, and the problem ends up being all of this probably without noticing it end up leaving the average guy with no place to deal with these emotions and to deal with these problems in a manner in which they can solve their problems and they can at the very least be capable of recognizing that they have it. If it isn't that they get to discover how they might be capable of solving it. And that is where this horrid concept of isn't silent suffering, it is something like silent desperation. The average guy lives in silent desperation because they have nobody to tell this thing. And once again, they have nobody to express how is it that they are, which things they are going. Because just the mere idea of expressing this problem and expressing these feelings is once again a contradiction against what they learn, what they try to go to. So they have no other option, the big majority of them, but to simply bottle up and to keep moving as if nothing is ever happening. Because the reality is, at the very least on their eyes, what would happen if they were to express what they are going through, and what would happen if they were really let out all of those emotions, is not only their own shamed, I think that really deeply psychologically affects a human being, but they are also get to be classified already and start to be treated as some kind of weirdo, which has no place in the normal society. Because if they are not capable of following the rules that everybody else is has been following so easily, how is it that they want to fit them once again in such a place? So a problem. And it is so far. I think it is horrible. I don't know. I think this I guess once again, trying to not make it so heavy. Going back to what I said when I explored the same thing as with hope and such, it is necessary to die a little bit to try and really explain it. I feel I I guess the pain is part of the problem, and to feel the reality, something like this is necessary to try and really find a solution. If that is the plan, after all, it I don't know. this. How can you solve something like that? I think obviously no individual has the capacity of solving it, and it ends up lying on the hands of the societies themselves to do the actions. But how can you even introduce the idea that it is necessary for such a change to occur? Once again, the stereotypes are that idea is doing well. Why out of should we change for quote unquote the better? I don't, and I want to be something, even if I am not happy right now. I will drink water. That is what I am going to do. That I will see where are we going. This what I mean. We still have one more layer. We still have one deeper layer to explore. That is the final for those who are silently who live in the silent desperation. The quote unquote male reality. It's fucking oh. Let's do this. Let's see. I can survive this. I think certainly this ends up becoming unavoidable depression if it isn't understood. Yes, that there is no way by which these people can survive such a problem. And I mean it not as something that not so many people is going through. I think I guess now I can at the very least believe that I understand a little bit more of this whole concept of um, a mental health epidemic that we're going to have in the future because we in reality already have it. we already we have already created something like with an idea that wow, you want to express your feelings, you are fucking gay, bro. The fuck is wrong with you, man? How can you say such shit? How can you be so fucking stupid to say such? Anyways, continue with it. I ah, I was this this is incredibly why why is this something that happens in reality? Why can't this be a concept of a fucking video? Why? I mean, I think the word itself, the one word version is not appropriate for Twitch, if I'm not wrong. So, excuse my mannerisms when I say it like this. I think it is like this. Uncom, we're struggling a fucking lot today. I hope you're doing well, my man. I, I, let me before I finish that word. Let me drive you through what we have dealt with so far, man, because I think this is interesting. Uh, we started with the question of why do men have such a hard time talking about their emotions with others, particularly with other men. But the reality is, it is widespread to almost every single other person. Because we, at some point, I don't know exactly where, I guess it is during childhood or something like that, that the concept of, oh wow, are you really trying to talk about your emotions? You know that is bad, right? Ideas and notions about why becoming a burden to your family, becoming a burden to your potential partner, becoming a burden to others is bad. Why crying is something horrid. Why being vulnerable is something not manly enough. When such stigmas gets put onto a man, they affect them in a way in which they stop being capable of expressing them. So by that, it is that we learn something also incredibly amazing, and that is if the man or the young adult that is going to be a man enter society without these skills, quote unquote, learned, they will get forced to learn them because the man who is not capable of adapt is a weirdo and is somebody who is incapable of following the rules, something that has been followed for so long and that has been of such a role for so long. And because there is no possible explanation, and there is not a logical one as to why it is necessary to be so incredibly hard. The severity by which they are corrected is incredibly bigger, and this in turn also creates something beautiful. That is, those who were corrected by harsh manners will also correct others by incredibly harsh manners because they are not going to do a lesser correction, even less if they are going to be observed by other males, by other people who will judge if what they are giving as a correction is appropriate or not. So they will keep overcorrecting and they will keep overstepping their boundaries when it comes to correcting somebody who's having these problems. And after that, we ended up landing on the lack of empathy and the not. I think at this point I can accept that I used the wrong terms. The lack of a capacity of even believing that it is necessary for you to show empathy, provide no desires for any man to find a solution and for any man to move from this point onwards. Because after all, why would you take a step out of the line and be the incredibly strange one who takes on a quote unquote problem that nobody so far has noticed, and somehow we are the only one capable of observing it. So, from here, we end up moving it. Because, as overall, every single man lacks the capacity to one or another extent of expressing their feelings to others, they can show any way of appreciation. And because of this, something amazing also happens, and that is they get even close bonded relationships with others, and what is commonly described as their brothers, their friends, their here, quote unquote, bros. Are, I guess certainly there are ways in which you can get to hear somebody being expressing things to you, but I I don't think that is enough for anybody, man. I I wish that would be capable of. I, I don't think give me. I don't think it will be enough. But yeah, it there are ways by which you can see that it's not the end. But the average is people. Sorry, the average is men don't have the capacity of expressing their feelings, and something so important and so crucial on the rest of the relationships that is expressing sometimes how much they miss one another, how much they want to be with one another is forbidden. Because, and this is a very amazing concept also that appears in the part of the stigmas. You have no way of saying something like that because the first fucking response that appears is, "What the fuck, bro? Are you gay? What's up with you? Are you are you out of your mind? Are you gay? Are you suicidal?" Stuff like that shit. It starts to happen. If you in any single form express that you like the people you surround yourself with and you tell them that you want to spend time with them, you get treated as if you were a fucking weird insect that somehow goes into humanity. And from that, it also happens that that is the easiest thing to call, the easiest thing to prove. But also, the lack of emotions makes any real subject and any substantial conversation not be capable of happening in any, in not any, in the big majority of those relationships that men have with one another, and that is why no attention is given to those problems that arise between one another, and from here we end up going into because these same feelings are not being expressed, we end up arriving at the amazing concept of el river. What's the name? Silence.
Mr. Worldwide, Mr.
What's up?
305, dialing today. I just want to tell you
Give
que a
me a
mí me
minute.
gusta
Give
la
me a minute.
Pepsi.
See, hello, Cody. I hope you're doing well. I hope you have a nice roleplay. Here we are talking about. I think it ended up being depression, I guess. I don't know how to really call it, but I hope you had a nice stream. Well, depression. That's the topic today. Um, welcome, brothers. I don't know. I hope, as I said, everything went fine, and I hope you were capable of enjoying it. Thanks for the ride. And wait, because I have something to. I I have not. My, so that it is. Can I do it properly? Yeah, sure. Okay, did it properly. Um, well, I guess moving from um, or continuing with what I was saying, I am just doing a quick rundown of the last, I think, 2 hours or so. How much I have been already talking? Let me see. Yeah, 2 hours. A quick rundown of the last 2 hours is much. I already condensed everything in 5 minutes. How can I condense it even further? Um, yeah, I can't. Continuing. I can't. Let me continue with what I was saying. Sorry. I I am already overwhelmed by this, so let's continue simply. Because as I was saying, because it is impossible for men to have any real deep conversation with one another, because feelings are observed as something weird, what ends up happening is then the amazing. I can't yet remember this concept. It is something like silent suffering. It isn't silent suffering, it is silent desperation. That is once again that is the that is let me add it over because I don't want to forget the third time in our yeah. Here is, as I was saying, here is where the concept of silent desperation gets introduced. Because once again, if it isn't understood yet, there is no place for the male to go. There is no place to which they can recur, and there is no person for which they can truly believe that they have the possibility of talking to. Because after all, once again, the stigmas themselves affect them to the degree to which they have no friends to talk about because it is fucking gay to mention emotions. They can't go to their families because they are going to become a burden. They have no female friends because possibly if you try to take advantage of a girl and talk about your emotions with them, you're probably going to make a move, or you are doing, you're making a move by trying to bring up such a topic, and they have also no necessity for going to somebody like a psychologist because also that is somehow fucking gay. So there is no real way to deal with this problem. That is, once again, why the concept of silent desperation appears and why, out of nowhere, as I was saying, when I got to this point, it is that we found ourselves with a fucking mental health epidemic where it is impossible for anybody to deal with such things and be capable of enjoying their time or their life or because wow, how is it that you can take care of yourself if literally any fucking action to do so ends up making you lesser of a human fucking being? And that is the conclusion of this. The beautiful that it is when the man has literally nothing else to go, and when once again there is no solution for the problem because every single path leads to becoming a lesser version of themselves instead of really taking care of their problems on their own eyes or becoming once again lesser in society, getting lesser of a position, becoming somehow weaker because they were capable of saying that they had some problems to others. The quote unquote logical or most sensible way to end it all is to self-determine themselves because every other path once again leads to their, their destruction of their own image. So this, yeah, this is overwhelming. I don't know where we should go next. I think this is everything from this era. I was I guess no, no, there's not been. I'm not missing any paper, right? I don't know. If I have to, I want to cry. That's what I fucking want to do. Uh, I I hate this. I didn't want to become aware of the extent of this shit, my brother. I wanted to have a nice banter about wow, you know, when you have a hard time talking about emotion. Let's talk about emotion. Wow, I didn't want to be a reminder of so many shit. I don't know. I guess yeah, we want to a new canvas and start finally dealing with the solutions. I want that shit that is I'm already at. Get me out of this one. I fucking hate it. But we did it at the very least. We survived the adventure. No. So, now, onto the topic of how one might try to solve such a problem. Ah, I don't know yet. I don't know. And I want to believe that I do. But the reality is, I don't. I have no idea. And again, oh wow, sorry, I did so. Potato cookies? What? Did you redeem it? When did you redeem it? I didn't see any redeem, my man. What are you talking about? Give me a second. Did you redeem it? There is no. Ah, what? When did you redeem it? Wait, what? There had been like 20 different redeems, and I didn't see even fucking one. Ah, no! I am. This is the end, my man. I failed. I completely failed. Oh man, there had there had been so many redeems, and I just now noticed them. This is. But well, uh, why do I not see the redeems in chat? What is up with that? Why why did I fail so bad at this? Um, anyways, let me let me do this Wonkum because I have to pay what he wanted, and also I I guess at the very least I will pay tribute to what Arkia wanted, even if it is too late. Oh man, I never. Why did nobody say anything like? Certainly, it is my fault. I shouldn't be blaming anybody else, but I want to blame somebody else for my own failures here. Sorry. There we have it. Ah no, wait, it is muted. There we have it. Let's finish the stream with this. It is better than anything else. Also nice. But well, now let me give me a second because we have one, two, three, four. Okay. I mean, I thought you were simply teasing, you know? I thought you were simply teasing my brother. Like, oh yeah, I am going to do it, I am going to do it. No, not that you really did it. And I never noticed. uh, Gangnam Style, what the fuck are you talking about? You didn't redeem Gangnam Style, shut up. But yeah, besides that, everything else is, I don't know, I don't want to make it too sad, so give me a second. Okay, okay. Ungum, I hope you can keep enjoying yourself, and I hope you can keep having fun. Because certainly, if there is something to learn from what we are dealing with so far, there is nothing better to remain hopeful and to do your best, even if it doesn't seem so bright right now. I I hope you know that you're appreciated, and I hope you can certainly keep it going, man. This is important for you to keep going. Not because I say it, but because deep in you, inside of you, you already know that there is something worth to keep striving for. So please, thank you for everything. Keep, keep up your efforts, brother. There you have it. I don't know. I'm being fucking destroyed by this topic. I guess today I'm going to bed like this. As well. Continuing. Let me please refresh this thing because I never noticed about the redeems. Maybe refresh the page, I will see the redeems happening instead of being like a schizophrenic, not noticing even one of them. Do I see it? I should supposedly see them now. Supposedly. 3 hours later, cosplay. There. But well, the reality is. To talk about solutions, and I have literally no solution for this. Uh, which solutions are there? Maybe maybe we can leave it here. I don't know. I think the point here is to dream, and to dream as high as possible, not to simply stay in between the realm of what is easily attainable and what isn't. Something like no, saboteur. I mean, I don't know how much I can really say without writing it directly. That is kind of a problem, I guess. Um, shitty. I think this is a response to something like that. To finally observe what things are and to categorize them properly, to accept that we have a lot of stigmas, to start seriously working on different problems that we have. Because they are noticeable. The problem is we're not doing anything to solve them. But no, I won't say any words. They are all state for reality itself, which shows that certainly we're not dealing properly with any of these problems. So yeah, I guess I guess that's everything today. Yeah. I guess I lost this one discussion against my fucking self. Sadly, I have no much more to really add. Certainly. So that's everything. I guess today. Yeah. It happened, and I somehow mind broke my own self. I stand locked myself, as they will say, as well. This that is enough, I guess. At the very least, a little bit more of awareness about such a beautiful problem. I don't know. We will see how we can recover for tomorrow. But yeah, that's everything on my end so far. Um, what's up? What is my riff, my brother? Is it not playing here? It's not playing here. Hello, Arax. Why is it? Why is it not playing here? What's going on with this? Let me see. If I click this, it's replaying. No, why? Why isn't it playing? Ah, wait. I have it hidden. That's the answer that I was searching for. There it is. Hello, Arax. We are done. We have quite finished today. I would say. I think it happened. I wouldn't recommend watching that world. Uh, that was certainly a loss that I took rather graciously. But yeah, I would still sorry, I will still do this. I have to show you this. I think you will quite enjoy what you're going to see. Um, Give me a second, because once again, to fully remember what we talk about, we the agency, yeah, we went over, or we started with the question of why do men have such a hard time talking about their own emotions with other men. We start we from that got into the first starting point, that is that at some point in the childhood we create stigmas around the ideas of being vulnerable, of talking to others about our problems, of being a burden to our families, of being any kind of problem or unwanted, unnecessary, and incredibly also annoying thing for the rest. From then, we went into the next concept that was certainly how, even if you somehow didn't learn it by yourself through your parents, society itself took matters onto its hands to teach you that this is something you need to learn, that this is something that you need to fit yourself into. Because as a man, you shouldn't be in any way uh, feeling despair through these ideas or through these topics. You should always try your best to keep your mouth shut, as they will say. And because there were corrections, the amount of harsh examples and incredibly deep, not deep, sorry, incredibly horrible ways that they use to tell you that what you were doing was bad are used on you. Later on, you just replicate that same, literally exact same pattern of correction on the others. Once again, overcorrecting somebody who was at some point capable of expressing their feelings. From there, we went into something that I should have corrected at this point. That is, the men, because of these conditions, end up lacking the capacity of feeling empathy for others and trying to solve such a problem. And the reality is, once again, it is not possible for you to involve yourself in such matters. After all, why would you step out of your boundaries and now take the burden of something so weird? But well, besides that, we end up also observing that because of the lack of capacity of expressing your feelings directly, your your relationships slowly deteriorate. Your relationships are superficial, and because both things are true, you can't really have the capacity of having any deep conversation with those whom you call your friends. Because once again, emotions have no place in male relationships, and emotions, things like "and I miss you," "I want to see you," are not possible to say to one another because they are all stigmatized and they are once again things from the realm of feelings, something that men should in no way feel. From there, these two concepts we end up moving into what is something amazingly beautiful. That is because what should have been their refugee, their place for comfort, their place of safety for men, some some land where they can type these things with one another, but in reality they are getting ashamed for trying to do so. Now, once again, the stigmas tell them that they shouldn't be a burden for their family, they shouldn't be a burden for their relatives, for their partner, for anybody. So it is here where it starts this beautiful arc of what gets called nowadays silent desperation. And what remains at the end of the silent desperation is the beautifully overwhelming feeling where nothing else is out there for you to really try. Because somehow we have been created the concept that even if you try to go to a psychologist, you're doing something wrong. And even if you try to go to a professional to analyze yourself, you're not really dealing with your problems. So you are now less of a man. So the only possible way that ends up being found for these people is self-determination. So that is the problem. And the solution is as vapid as it comes, because simply is to start calling things by their name, to accept that we have stigmas, and to start taking seriously mental health, because it's a problem. But nothing else to really add. I think that's everything that happened today. And I guess once again we take that the loss. I'm not. Yeah, I guess it happened. this is one of the few rare cases in which nothing really. I don't think nothing can be done, but so far we are not in a position to find the real solution for this. But well, at the very least we tried. At the very least we went through it. We had a great time in the meanwhile. No, uh, what's up? What's up? that is the real pain. But well, I guess people. Thanks for everything. I can't really add that much more to it. I I lost. I concede. I give my concession this time around. It overwhelmed me. It is fucking overwhelming. But well, we will see each other next time with something a lot better, I guess. I haven't decided myself, so there is a poll about if I should do karaoke. I I don't really know, but yeah, I I don't know. Let me give me one. Give me one, just 1 minute, please. With that, we're going to finish because I think it is necessary, and I think it is a disservice to real. That is, even if even if we are affected by stigmas, and even if we have so many problems, it can always be possible to start in the tiniest spot that is always our ourselves and the things that happen to us. The directors take care of ourselves, even if we believe that there is nobody out there who might hear us, who might have an interest on giving us the attention or sometimes it's even simply the space to talk about the things. And I think if you can endure the process, you can come out of it and you can find a reason that is worth enough of continuing. And I, I believe that everybody can find it. I also accept that certainly what I said doesn't only apply to males, and it is a bigger epidemic on males, but everybody is to a certain extent going through it nowadays. So please find, I guess also find those people who you can say that you love them because it's necessary for you to express those things. And do not believe for a second that it is not an obligation for you to say such beautiful words to others. Because certainly it is part of the human nature. You to others what you feel. And yeah, something like I I I guess we lost that one. So I can't really say that it's not a fucking problem. It is a problem. But maybe we can avoid being completely bitter out. That's one problem. Now, get me out of here. Let me write someone. I, today is going to be a good night. Uh, who's streaming? Who is? Okay, okay. Let's go to somebody who is worrying themselves with any of these things, who is capable of being happy, who is capable of showing life without having to deal with such an ocean, having to be aware of such a beautiful reality. Uh, let's show somebody who is having a good time, who is going through a celebration, who is having basically that their anniversary. That's if it isn't obvious enough. Let's go and write Raya. And once again, thanks for everything. think it is a beautiful occasion, and it is a pleasure to be here. Even if, like it happened today, we don't get to win every single game that we play against my fucking mind or something like that. It was nice. Please, for the fucking love of God, take care of yourself. Fucking take care of yourself. Uh, Sleep well, hydrate, do everything that you can. Even if, even if we don't get to see each other, we still hydrate them. We try to. So please, stay safe. Tell those who are close to you that you love them. And yeah, I think let's write it down. Yeah. Um, that's that's everything for today. Thanks for everything, people. Thanks. And yeah, let's go into something happier. Goodbye. Thanks for everything.